Did you know stuff from your past, you can access that and process it? This morning I was driving along, and as you do, you get various thoughts crop up. And quite often with myself on this journey, self-awareness, self-discovery, healing, etc., I learn to recognise when something comes up in memory, I'll question why that's come up. For example, something that happened years ago while I was driving, there was I suppose you call an element of guilt there in my behaviour. So it was interesting to note that I observed something today, and then that in turn triggered this memory. And I thought, oh, why has that come up? Well, as this memory's come up, very quickly I realised its significance. By that I mean how I felt at that time, how it made me feel, and those feelings I attached to the situation and the people involved. That was brushed under the carpet, as it were, suppressed, ignored. And I'm talking, how long ago now? Oh, it's probably 20 years ago. So done and dusted, forgotten about. So it doesn't matter whatever goes on in your life, however small or big, but the very moment you put any thought to it, any attachment to it, any feelings, so whether you're angry at the time, scared at the time, or whatever, your body remembers it, it stores it. It doesn't go anywhere other than inside. And as far as you're aware, or in my case, I felt I don't need to worry about that. Gone. But it's never gone. The only time it truly goes is when you actually process it in its entirety. So there are people you can see that help you access these memories, because like I say, they don't go anywhere other than inside, and they will affect other decisions from that point on, in small ways, sometimes big ways. But there's people out there, you've got hypnotherapists, NLP practitioners, all sorts, there's many. I've spoken to a hypnotherapist years ago, also I've had treatment by them as well. I've spoken to various counsellors or therapists or whatever through my own experiences that I've had, that, obviously bring these memories up, these emotions up, fears, anxieties, whatever it is, whether you had dark times at that time or whatever. But even the smallest thing that you store and you try and hide away, I suppose that's dark. And dark never truly goes away, so the only way you can deal with things is bring light to it, in the literal sense. So if you imagine, just go for a gate, you can imagine when you choose to process something, that's bringing it to the light, that is the light. So in order to grow from it, learn from it, understand it, you got to be prepared to go into that darkness, that dark space, the dark thoughts. Because if you don't, they'll stay there for as long as you leave them in there. They'll never go away, and every now and then they'll creep up on you. So, going back to what I was saying, the occurrences that happened all those years ago, while I was driving along, had these thoughts come up, I realised I'd hung on to that for 20 odd years. I mean, that's an estimation, but it was a long time ago. And I didn't realise that I still had that in my my memory. And my memory includes body, so body stores it wherever it needs to. A bit like a computer hard drive, really. It stores it wherever it needs to. And when the opportunity comes up, a trigger of some sort, whether that's a person, a situation, or a memory, when that comes up, it's a good idea to process it then, because you won't realise the benefits of that until after you've processed it. Like I say, there's people that can help you do it. In the early days, I had people helping me access these memories, because we do shut them away. And what I done from that point on for the last, how many years now, I started doing stuff myself more recently over the last 10 years. So everything that goes on, there's always layers to it. So you might process one thing and then there'll be another layer under that. So just when you think you've dealt with something, what you've done is you've scraped off one layer of the onion, so to speak. And in an ideal world, if you can access the very root of it, whatever it is that's brought these other situations up, it can be something as simple as when you were, say, 4 years old or 5 years old, a thought process you had at that time. It can be absolutely anything, and then you won't realise the impact. You won't realise the impact until your adult years. If you're lucky, you'll be able to work it out before that. So, apologies for the dark spots on it. Yeah. Where was I? So, processing it. Yeah, so today, with that situation from my past, I was able to recall by literally asking out to the ether, if you like. Now, whether you believe it or not, we've all got guides and helpers, unseen friends, if you like. And when the time is right, when it's in alignment, including your soul self, your higher self, when it's in alignment, these memories, whatever, records, come to the surface. The reason they come to the surface in alignment, it's time for it to go. Because it's come to that stage where it's hindering your progress, your steps forward. And we all know how fast things are moving nowadays. So in essence, the quicker you process those things, the lighter you'll feel, the better you'll feel, and the less that will influence any decisions in a negative sense. It's always best to process these, and like I say, I do a lot on my own now, because after a few sessions with therapists, etc., I find in some cases, not all, they can access certain points. What they can actually access is, it's so windy today. What they can actually access is the information you give them. And knowing what I'm like, for years I've always decided to do things myself. I'm going to try and walk a different way, I think. Maybe less windy. That's not so bad now. So yeah, I try and, that's how I try. I do action it. So once the memory comes up, I've got strong visualization nowadays. I mean, I had that since I was a kid. But with these visualizations, it shows me in a graphic way just what is holding me back. So when that shows itself, I'll then ask the questions like I said before, and why has that come up, and how will I benefit from this? So I tend to, these days, look at it, relive those moments, and this time, instead of being impacted by it in the way I was that encouraged the mind and body to store it, what I do now is, okay, let's process this. So a lot of it's by feeling into it. So you literally feel into it, you tune into it, you align with it. And when you align with it, it'll all present itself. And with your own self-realization, you'll be like, right, I see how that impacts me now. And you can see what you need to do with it. And like I say, mainly I'll look at it and I'll actually forgive myself for feeling negative about anything, or suffering from it, or anything that's anything that wasn't. It's all beneficial in the long run. Even the dark stuff, it's all beneficial. It's learning to work through it. But I'll literally feel into it, work with it, and then ultimately it's about letting it go. So when you truly let it go, no attachment to it anymore whatsoever, it's very liberating. So it's a long enough video now. It's gone on for however many minutes that is. I'll leave you to think about that. If you want to know any more, by all means leave us a comment, and I'll potentially do another video on it, maybe in more detail, or you may find that the detail so far should be sufficient anyway. Yeah, I mean, the main thing is with anything, this stuff never goes away until you deal with it. The quicker you deal with it, the better it is all round. Because ultimately, no one can actually save you. You're the one that does that. You're the one in charge of that. You're the one responsible for that. And see, that's another key element as well, responsibility. Anything we do or say, or it always pays to take responsibility for it and acknowledge it. So if you said anything horrible to someone, even if you walk away feeling the champion of that conversation or that confrontation or whatever it is, even though you may feel that you won that exchange, nobody wins. The true winners are when both you walk away knowing you can learn from it and choosing to learn from it. I learned that the hard way, but hopefully you can take something from the video. And yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about. I'll try to keep it brief. Didn't do very well doing 3 minutes, but it is what it is. So, if you're still watching, brilliant, well done, thank you very much. It's always appreciated. But I'm actually helping myself as well by doing these videos. So, the more I do these videos, the more information comes up, the more I process, the more I feel clearer, I feel lighter, I feel more balanced. Ultimately, it's a win-win. It's not so much about winning against someone else, it's more about winning against yourself, because we create our own confrontation, our own inner conflict, and it's down to us as individuals to work with that and win ourselves over again. So that's where self-love, self-respect, trust, belief will come in. It's a long process. You've got to be patient with yourself, trust it'll all work out, because it does. The longer you leave it brushed under the carpet, or in denial, or whatever you want to describe it as, but the longer you leave it there, the more suffering you create for yourself. And in essence, your soul self, your higher self, your guides, they'll keep bringing it up for you, because it serves you no purpose. At the time you might have felt it did, great, but ultimately the buck stops with you. So put the work in, put the effort in. Yeah, it won't be easy, but it's a darn sight lot easier once you have processed it. It becomes much more simpler, much more straightforward, and well, it's just so rewarding. You never know, you might do your own videos. Something I never thought I'd do, but here we are. So again, like I say, thank you for watching. Well done for sticking with it if you've got this far. Stay tuned for the next video, and remember, not only are you awesome, you're amazing too. Take care.